guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the sections of this video, I'm going to explain you about tourism business on Borobudur Temple. But before that, I'm going to explain you what is Borobudur Temple. And if I pronounce that wrong, I'm so sorry because I'm not Buddhist, but I will try my best. So without any further ado, let's do it. Brief synthesis. The Borobudur Temple compounds is one of the greatest Buddhist monuments in the world and was built in the 8th and 9th centuries during the reigns of the Shailendra dynasty. The monument is located in the Kedu Valley, in the southern part of central Java, at the center of the island of Java, Indonesia. The main temple is a stupa built in 3 tiers around a hill which was natural center, a pyramidal base with 5 concentric square terraces, the trunk of a cone with 3 circular platforms, and at the top a monumental stupa. The walls and balustrades are decorated with fine low reliefs, covering a total surface area of 2,520 meters. Around the circular platforms are 72 open-work stupas, each containing a statue of the Buddha. Okay, going to the next page. The vertical divisions of Borobudur Temple in the base, body, and superstructure perfectly accords with the conceptions of the universe in Buddhist cosmology. It is believed that the universe is divided into 3 superimposing spheres: Kamadhatu, Rupadhatu, and Arupadhatu, representing respectively the sphere of desires, where we are bound to our desires, the sphere of forms, where we abandon our desires but are still bound to name and forms, and the sphere of formlessness, where there is no longer either name or forms. At Borobudur Temple, the Kamadhatu is represented by the base, the Rupadhatu, the 5 squares terrace, and the Arupadhatu by the 3 circular platforms as well as the big stupa. Okay, I get it. The whole structure shows a unique blending of the very central ideas of ancestor worship, relate to the idea of a terrace mountain combined with the Buddhist concept of attaining nirvana. The temple should also be seen as an outstanding dynastic monument of the Shailendra dynasty that ruled Java for around 5 centuries until the 10th century. Wow, that was so long. Okay. And the next page. The Borobudur Temple compounds consists of 3 monuments, namely the Borobudur Temple and 2 small temples situated to the east on a straight axis to the Borobudur. The 2 temples are Mandu Temple, whose depictions of Buddha is represented by a formidable monolith accompanied by 2 bodhisattvas, and Tawan Temple, a smaller temple whose inner space does not reveal which deity might have been the object of worship. The 3 monuments represent pace in the attainment of nirvana. Okay, so there is 3 temples in here. There is Borobudur, and then there is Mandu Temple, and there is one is Pawan Temple. There's 3. Okay. The temple was used as a Buddhist temple from its constructions until some time between the 10th and 15th centuries, when it was abandoned. Since its rediscovery in the 19th century and restorations in the 20th century, it has been brought back into a Buddhist archaeological site. Criterions. 1. Borobudur Temple compounds with its staff and roof pyramids consisting of 10 superimposing terraces, crowned by a large bell-shaped dome, is a harmonious marriage of stupas, temple, and mountain that is a masterpiece of Buddhist architecture and monumental arts. Okay, criterion 2, Borobudur Temple compounds is an outstanding example of Indonesian art and architecture from between the early 8th and late 9th centuries that exert considerable influence on an architectural revival between the mid 13th and early 16th century. Alright. Okay, we're going to the last criterions. Late art in the forms of lotus. The sacred flower of Buddha, Borobudur Temple compounds is an exceptional reflection of a blending of the very central idea of indigenous ancestor worship and the Buddhist concept of attaining nirvana. The 10 mounting terraces of the entire structure correspond to the successive stage that the Bodhisattva has to achieve before attaining the Buddhahood. That was so religious. Okay, integrity. The boundaries contains the 3 temples that include the imaginary axis between them, although the visual links are no longer open. The dynamic functions between the 3 monuments for the temple, Mandu Temple, and Pawan Temple is maintained. Okay, the main threat to the symbol is from development that could compromise the extraordinary relationship between the main monument and its wider settings, and could also affect the outstanding universal value of the property. The approach to property has to a degree already been compromised by weak developmental regulations. Tourism also exerts considerable pressure on the property and its hinterland. What's that mean? I don't know. There's a growing rate of deteriorations of the building stones, because of which needs further research. Okay, there's also a small degree of damage caused by unsupervised visitors. Oh, that was sadness. Okay. The eruptions of Mount Rapi is also considered as one of potential threats because its deposits acidic as happened in 2010. Yeah, I feel that accident too because I was living in Java. Authenticity. The original materials were used to reconstruct the temple in 2 phases in the 20th century, after the turns of the century, and more recently from 1973 to 1983. Mostly original materials were used with some additions to consolidate the monument and ensure proper drainage, which has not had any significant adverse impact on the value of the property. So the present stage of Borobudur Temple is a result of restorations. It retains more than enough original material when rediscovered to make reconstructions possible. Nowadays, the property could be used as a Buddhist pilgrimage site. Its overall atmosphere is, however, to a certain degree compromised by the lack of control of commercial activities and the pressure resulting from the lack of an adequate tourism managed by strategy. Okay, the tourism and creative economy minister hopes to grow Indonesia's tourism and creative industry to record heights within a decade by promoting domestic tourism and developing the 5 super priority destinations. Minister Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno said he wants to increase the 2 industries' contributions to Indonesia's gross domestic product to between 10 and 12% in the next 5 to 10 years from the estimated 7.3% contributions at the monument. That's nice. To achieve the target, the minister plans to push domestic travels and develop the super priority destinations, namely Borobudur in Central Java, Lake Toba in North Sumatra, and then there is Labuan Bajo in East Nusa Tenggara, and then Mandalika in West Nusa Tenggara, and Likupang in North Sulawesi. Okay, I think that's all what I want to share to you. I hope you can imagine that. Thank you for watching this. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Don't forget to like and subscribe.